Hi everyone, welcome to my coloring corner. This is Renee, and today we're going to talk about Hueeyes colored pencils. They're an oil-based colored pencil. They're smooth, rich color. Okay. This is a 48 set. It is the largest set I could find of them. So if you just want a small set to give to a friend or put in your suitcase, travel with, whatever, this is a pretty good set for that. It comes with a color wheel, and it's a very nice color wheel. Mine's gotten a little bent by the packaging. What I use this for, and I use mine often, and the one I bought is like $10. This entire set costs less than $14. So basically you're spending about $4 for the pencils. But what I use this for is when I am stuck on a color, I will put down, like I'll turn it into find the color that I use the most in the picture and see what accent colors go with that. So a great thing to have. It also comes with this really cute little coloring book. So like I said, it's a great thing just to stick in the car or, give to a friend for Christmas. It is that time of year. We are coming up to that. But it's a very cute little coloring book. Both sides of the page have pictures on them. The paper is really, really thin, but for what it is, it's not too bad. And the artwork in it's really cute. Like, you gotta love a carousel on a cupcake. Or bunnies taking pictures of pies. Some really, really cute little pictures in here. Now, more than likely, all of these pictures are provided by Shutterstock or some sort of thing like that. But because I think I've seen a few of these in other places. So, but, still a very nice little coloring book. And it's called Fantasy of Dreams by Amelie Shen. It says a hand-painted roaming wonderland coloring book. So they do say that they made it themselves, so that's kind of cool. So now into the pencils. Now this was confusing to me, and I had to read up on a few reviews and look at the different information that's on the packaging. It's not on the front of the packaging, it is on the back of the packaging. Because on the pencil itself, you will see, it says water-based paint. Now I'm going to switch you over to the other camera so that you can see that clearer. So it says water-based paint on them, and this on the front of the box says that they are an oil-based pencil. What the water-based paint is talking about is this paint, the paint on the outside of the pencil. It is not talking about the core. So the core is oil-based. The coating on the pencil is a water-based paint. So we're going to take a look at these. They do not have any sort of name on them. They do have a number, but they don't have a name. And the yellow is a really bad one to show that on. But what we're going to do is we're going to quickly swatch these because they are only 48. And once we have them swatched, we will come back and go through and color with them a little bit and see how they do. We'll go over some of the likes and dislikes on the pencils themselves, on the shafts and whatnot, and then we'll color a little bit with them, and we'll go in through the ins and outs of what we like and don't like about the way they lay down. With that being said, this swatch will be very, very quick. So make sure you already have your cup of tea or your cup of coffee and ready to go, because this one will be a quickie because it's only 48 pencils. So I will be right back. Hold on to your horses because here we go. Okay, so that wasn't so bad. Um, I've swatched these all out, and as you can probably tell, there is a missing color here. I did receive a duplicate of pink, so I am actually going to be receiving a new set of these pencils to replace that pink. With that being said, they laid down quite nicely on the swatch sheet, and they have a good selection of colors. They've got a good selection of light to dark yellows, a couple of oranges and a dark orange. I just sorted these by eye. I looked at the numbers and they made absolutely no sense to me, so I didn't sort them that way. But they do have a couple of flesh tones, a dark and a light. And, it has a good selection of reds, a little bit lacking in the pinks, but I think the light pink is what's missing. Because there's a dark, medium pink, a dark pink, and I think the light pink is what's missing out of my set. Has a good selection of purples. Has a huge selection of blues for this amount of pencils, as well as greens. It's got a really big selection of greens for this amount of pencils as well. Has a really good selection of browns, a little lacking in the grays, but it does have a light, a cool gray, a warm gray, and a dark gray. So it does have at least a light, medium, and dark of every color. So that being said, we're going to take a closer look at the pencils themselves. And, like I said, they don't have names, but they do have this number system. And like I said already, it made very little sense to me, other than certain ones have a group number, like the greens are all 300s. you know, that sort of thing. Other than that, it made very little sense to me. So I'm going to switch it back over to the other camera here, just so you can get a little bit closer look at it. They did cover really nicely on the heavy, and for a light shade, light coating, this is just one area, one layer of a light shade. And we all know with the oil-based pencils, it's best to layer so that you get the colors that you want. The pencils themselves, let's pick one that you can see the number on quite well. Well, this one is the one that's duplicated in my box. I have 2 of these. So they are sending me a new set, and I will send this set back because I don't need 2 of this color. But they've got color pencil on them. They've got the brand name, which is Hueeyes. And they've got this water-based paint label, which is specifically for the outer casing of the pencil. It is not for the core. And then they've got this number. I don't know what the QB means, so I didn't write those down. I just wrote down the numbers. And like I said, the system that they seem to have going on here is certain colors are in a certain number area. Like this one here should be up here, and this one should be down here. The oranges all seem to have a 1. The yellows all seem to have a 2. The reds all have a 0. The purples all have a 6. The blues a 5. The greens a 3. The browns a 7. And the grays an 8. And of course the black is a 9. So they all seem to have a code that they go through, and I will probably restructure them once I get the new set and put them into the pencil bag, where I've got them like 216 goes before 222 and that sort of thing, or 216, and I'm not sure because this one seems to be lighter than this one. This one's darker than this one, so it would go next, and that sort of thing. I'll resort them because I do see a couple of them that should be in different places, like this one here, this one here, this one here should be at the end. You know, so I do have some that are not where they should be, but that's fine. Like I said, I basically did these all by eye, not by coloring them and then resorting them. With that being said, they are not a round pencil. They are a hexagonal pencil. They do have the paint all the way to the end, so you can't see the core at the end to see if it's straight. It does seem to have a nice thick core, about a 3mm core. And I haven't found too many pencils that are horribly off center. I have found 1 or 2 that could have been centered better, like this one here, for example. Let's see if I can get it out of the box. This one here is off center quite a bit. It's a little bit difficult to see. Let's see if I can put it up against the white and have you see it better. There, that's better. So this one here does seem to be quite a bit off center, but I'm hoping that sharpening that will help. It wasn't so bad that I couldn't use it to swatch, but if I'm doing a heavy skin tone picture, that may be a problem depending upon how well it sharpens. Now, because I am sending these back, I have not sharpened them, so. And none of them broke. I didn't end up with any broken cores. I didn't end up with any shattering. I did end up with a little bit of dust on the reds when I did the reds. But beyond that, it all laid down quite nicely. So what we're going to do is we're just going to color one of these little owls. Of course, you know, I've made a mess of some of them, trying different things. So what we're going to do is we're just going to color this little fellow here. And we're going to use, I've got, and the trays are a little flimsy, but they do have these elastic little holders to pick up the trays with. There is only 2 trays in here, so it's not a huge ordeal to get the trays in and out, which is a good thing. You know, if there was, oh, there's another one that is off center quite a bit. So like I said, there are a couple that I'm actually going to sharpen this one. I really didn't want to sharpen them because I am sending them back, and hopefully they won't put these back in the pool to be sent out. So they do sharpen quite nicely, no breakage, and it did bring that down enough that I can use it for coloring. So we're just going to color his little feathers here. And the color goes down quite nicely, very smoothly. I'm not having a lot of scratch, which is good. So it tells me that the pigment did get enough time to dissolve or blend into the oils and waxes enough that it's not going to give you scratchies. Nothing worse than a scratchy pencil. Just drives me crazy. Pencil should be nice and soft and quiet. So as you can see, it does seem to lay down. Oh, my hand is in the way because I've got this tray in the way here. So I'm going to move my hand out of your way. It does seem to lay down quite easily with a good amount of color. And this is just on the Shuttle Arts coloring page. So it is just on coloring book paper. I haven't printed it on cardstock or anything. It's just the coloring book paper. Just wanted to put that out there. So, because a lot of people do color in the coloring books and do look for something that is going to work well on the coloring book paper, because sometimes you can buy a pencil or a set of pencils and they don't work on the coloring book paper at all. Others, of course, work beautifully. Okay, so now we're going to take a darker brown here. And they do not come in the box sorted. They are willy-nilly everywhere in the box. So I went through and I sorted them all. They don't even come sorted as per the back of the container. And I'll show you the back of the container here in a minute. The back of the container does have some information on it about the water-based information, as well as the swatch chart and, you know, the color chart. The one thing I don't like about it is it's a metal back. So when they put the paint on it, they didn't put a primer underneath the colors that they were trying to show. So they all look metallic, and none of them are metallic. So seeing the numbers and that sort of thing on it was a bit difficult for me. But I did my best on trying to sort them out and put them in the order that they should have been in, just by looking at the back of the tin. And as you can see with the dark as well, is it just goes down very nicely. There is no having to press really hard. There is no having to go over it over and over again just to get a good color lay down. And sometimes with the darker colors, that I find that that's the ones that, if there is going to be a problem, it's more than likely going to be a dark color that has some of those problems, because the white shows through a lot more than if you're using a lighter color. Now I am just gently shading this. I'm not putting a heavy hand to it because I want to layer it. And he's going to be a cute little owl. But for a budget-friendly pencil and a smaller set, I have a horrible thing about, full set syndrome. So I always look for the bigger sets, the ones that have the most pretty colors in them. And this does have a really good selection throughout all of their colors for coloring anything pretty much. You don't need to have a huge selection of colors to work with. I am a glutton, so I like having all the colors, but that's just me. And quite frankly, it is gluttonous, and I really shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately I am, because I have an addiction. I have a problem. I have a colored pencil problem. I need to have them all. And you guys don't help. I look at all the new things that come out and try to bring you as many of them as possible, and I end up falling in love with them all. And of course, I purchase all of these things, so it's not like I've been sent these things for free or anything like that. These are things that I do purchase. So, if I've spent good money on it, I'm keeping it. Yeah, my husband's rule of one set comes in, one set goes out, went out the window a long time ago. That used to be the rule because my pencils were getting out of control. But when we were sharing the office together, that was the rule. One set of pencils comes in, you got to get rid of one. Now that we're not sharing a space, he has no say in it. Well, he does. I just don't listen. Pretty much. That's pretty much the gist of it. Is he can say, but I'm not going to listen all the time. So, and of course, my camera again is out of color sync. I don't know why it does this. I need a new camera, obviously, because that does not look right. So let's get you focused in there again. All right. And then we'll try to get that color right, because that should be a brown, not a red. Ooh, that's definitely not the right way, is it? There, that's a little better. There we go. I don't know why it does that. It just picks up colors the wrong way, and it just drives me crazy. All right, so now we're going to do his little ears. I don't know why they're putting ears on owls. They don't have ears. They have little feathers, some of them. But these almost look like ears. I hope everybody's week is going well. I know it's just the start of the week, but still, nothing worse than starting the week off on a bad foot. Now we're going to take a bit of yellow just to show the color. This is the light yellow, so it is quite light. And of course my hand's in the way again. Now while I'm using these, like I said, they are going down quite smoothly, and I'm not having to press hard on them, which is really good because I know a lot of wax pencils, especially the bargain basement type of pencils, you have to press quite hard on them. These are out of China, so definitely a good possibility that you need to set them aside for a little bit. I'm not sure how long they're at the Amazon thing before you can use them. I let them sit for 2 days before I started using them, and then of course I've got to let the next set sit for a couple of days and check and make sure it has all its colors and that sort of thing. But the colors are laying down quite nicely. I'm was really surprised with the color selection as well as the amount of pigmentation these pencils have. For the price of them, they were very inexpensive. And I've gotten to the point now of I'm going to have to sharpen them anyway, so I might as well just sharpen them, and hopefully they Amazon understands that I, you know, I had to give them a sharpen before I sent them back. And that's his little feet. Now we're going to use some blue for the flowers. Then we're going to talk a little bit about what I like about them and what I don't like about them. So far, there's not a lot I don't like about them, other than there are a couple that are not centered. But other than that, they lay down beautifully. Their colors are very, very, very bright. You don't have to press hard on them. You don't have to, work really hard to get the color that you want, which is a good thing. And I'd never heard of this brand before, and I saw them on the Prime days and thought I'd never heard of those before. So I did a bit of research on the company, and they are out of China. They don't have their own website. I actually had to look for their patent information, and they have just recently applied for a patent in February. So they haven't been around very long. And I'm not sure if they're distributed out of the US or out of China. Like I said, there is very little information on this company. And I found that same sort of situation with the Diamond Driven. Um, those pencils are no longer available and have actually disappeared off the market. So I'm wondering if these ones will do the same thing in a year, if you will be able to find these again. So um, they may not be something that are replaceable. They may be a one-time only purchase because they may be hard to replace. But with that being said, you never know. If they sell enough of them, the company may be around forever. You know, Diamond Driven didn't sell a lot of pencils. Um, the last time I looked, their sales were not very good. So, and they may have just changed their name and became something else as well. So sometimes they do that and they get taken over by somebody else. You know, companies get bought and sold every day. And that may be what has happened to them, is they may still be around under a different name, and these will probably have the same situation. They'll be around. They're just, you know, they'll either stick around with this name because of sales and whatnot, or they may end up getting sold to a U.S. company and being renamed. If that is the case, hopefully they'll let us know. But when the Diamond Driven went off the market, they didn't tell anybody anything. So they just disappeared. Which, you know, for customers like me who have purchased them and would definitely purchase them again, it kind of sucks because you can't find them anymore. Luckily, I still have most of mine. You know, I use my pencils and I use all of them. I'm not really heavy with them. There are some that I have to replace. The ones I find that I'm heavier with are ones I know I can replace easily. Like, for example, the Faber-Castells, and ones that I know I can buy singles of, Prismas and whatnot. With these other sets that are, you have to buy the whole set to replace a pencil, I'm a little bit gentler with those because I don't want to replace an entire set for one pencil. And I'll make sure, you know, pretty much all of the pencils are depleted before I'll buy another set. So, but there's our little owl. He's a cute little guy. And I used some blues, some yellows, some browns, and some oranges on him. And they all did quite well. Now I'm going to put this tray back in here, and I'm going to actually flip this over so I can show you the information that I have on the bottom of this tray, bottom of this tin. So I'm going to actually switch you over. First, I'm going to go through and show you the, okay, so he turned out quite nice. There's not a lot of white spot. I didn't blend anything. I didn't, you know, I just colored it. This is just straight coloring with a bit of shading and that sort of thing. Let's try a blender on it just to see how well they blend. So I've got my Lyra blender here. And one of the things I look for when I'm blending is, first of all, how hard do I have to push on the blender, which I'm not pushing very hard at all. How much of the white spot it takes out, and how well it blends that darker color into the lighter color, making it look seamless. Now I am having to go over a couple of times, but like I said, I'm not pushing really hard. And after I'm done this area, I will take a look at the blender itself and see if it has picked up a lot of the pigmentation, because sometimes just doing this, you can end up scratching off or, scraping off or rubbing off a lot of your pigment. And we're just going to go over this. Now, because I'm able to go over this light color here without changing the color of it a lot, tells me that it's not picking up a lot of that dark pigment, which is good. But also there isn't a huge layer on any of this. I laid down one layer of color and it was enough to cover, so I called it good. And we do have a little bit of lift off there, but not a lot. Let's see if I can show you guys. There we go. So there is a little bit of lift off there, but not a huge amount. Let's wipe that off. And I think some of it is from what I did last time, because it's not wiping off all the way. So I think some of it is from my previous coloring. But there's our little owl. He did quite well. The blues are very bright, vibrant. The browns are really nice. I'm going to switch you over to the other camera, and I'm going to flip over this box, and we're going to take a look at what it says on the back of this box, if we can see it. Well, this camera is a little bit better. Let's see. Let's switch you over. Yeah, no, that other camera is definitely better for it. Okay, so it says that they're environmentally friendly paint. So that means that the paint on the pencil is environmentally friendly. They're fine quality artistic pencil, premium pigments with vivid colors, smooth, thick cores with even blending, as well as a fine texture, easy to sharpen. And all of those are correct. That is a very good description of these pencils. This part here is what confused me. It says our pencils are made of a recycled material and painted by the water-based paint. And after reading that, I understood that with the water-based paint, they're meaning that the shaft is coated in the water-based paint. And then it goes into explaining why they do that. Now here's the color swatch. And this color swatch is very, very difficult to read for anybody that has any visual impairments. These darker colors, as you can see, like this one here, the darker color, really darker colors, they've used a black paint for the numbers. So trying to see in these colors what number those are is really difficult. So you just basically have to go by the color. Let's see. So it's a water-based paint for the exterior of the pencil. So the pencil paint itself is a water-based paint. And it tells you basically everything that they're metals or anything else like that, what they don't have and what they do have. They do not have a smell. I didn't smell anything when I opened them at all. There's no mercury, no lead, which is good. No, yeah, this part here is basically just telling everything that has to do with the coating on the pencil. themselves. So they were imported by YLW Incorporated in the US. So basically, Hueeyes has created the pencil and the brand in China and imports them here into the US to that other company who sells them to Amazon or ships them for Amazon or ships them to Amazon and has Amazon ship them to us or whatever. And it does say here that it is a pencil lead of 3 millimeters, which is good. And with that, it's a great set of pencils for a budget brand pencil. They are in a lovely box, that tin metal box, that the lid comes completely off. It's not hinged or anything like that. As I said, it does come with a color wheel, which I think is wonderful. I use my color wheel constantly. A really cute little coloring book by Amelie Shen called Fantasy Dream, and 2 trays, and they have these little elastics to help you lift the trays. The trays are a little flimsy. I would not keep them in the trays, but I don't keep any pencils in their boxes unless they have a specialty box. So when they come in these metal boxes and stuff, the cardboard boxes, I don't keep them in those. So they are not a round pencil. They are a hexagonal pencil. They are not named, they are numbered. They are an oil-based pencil, and they do lay down quite smoothly, and they do color quite nicely. And with that being said, I would definitely buy these again, and I will use these often because, like I said, they are a really nice pencil. And the set that I'm going to replace this set with will probably go in my RV when we are traveling, so that I have a good set of pencils with me and I don't have to take every set of pencils with me. Great Christmas gift. Like I said, it comes with the color wheel. It comes with a coloring book, so it will definitely give everything you need in one package for any starter colorist or even seasoned colorist. With that being said, I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure that you hit the like button, as well as if you are not a subscriber, hit subscribe, and of course ring the bell, and that way you will get all of the notifications of any videos. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and make sure that you're able to see all the new videos as they come out. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Of course, relax, color, and stay safe. Bye-bye.